Can you imagine getting married without a prenup? Jean-Marie was a badass. She was a very well-respected lawyer who carried herself very well and had high standards. For the most part, her friends and family thought she was the coolest, the most poised, but unfortunately, men seemed a little intimidated. They ran away, were scared to have conversations with her. So for a long time, she was single. Until Sadat, a 36-year-old CEO of a multinational real estate company. He was the guy. He didn't have any sort of fears. He was one of the few men not intimidated by Jean-Marie and not in any way, shape, or form scared or overly impressed. He knew what he wanted and set out to get it. So he introduced himself and started to court her. Very quickly, they got into a relationship that surprised and impressed most of their friends and family. From both sides, people were like, oh, Sadat, are you sure you want to date her? She's strong-willed. She's the man in all her relationships. At the same time, people were telling Jean-Marie that, Sadat, he's fine, he has money, but he's a playboy and a womanizer. But both of them did not care for rumors and speculations. They truly believed that their relationship was meant to be and that they would make it work regardless of anything. Though Jean-Marie and Sadat were well loved, there was one person who was not as impressed by the two of them, Arnold. He worked in Sadat's company and he'd been working there much longer than Sadat himself and truly believed he deserved to be CEO. On top of that, he'd had a serious interest in Jean-Marie himself and was upset to find out that the guy who had usurped him was also dating the woman of his dreams. So Arnold did everything in his power to encourage Jean-Marie that, maybe Sadat is not the man for you. Maybe he's not who you really want. There are better options in this world. But Jean-Marie wanted nothing to do with any of that information. One beautiful bright day, Sadat proposed to Jean-Marie and she agreed. So they started preps for their wedding. The closer it got to the wedding, the more frustrated and annoyed Arnold became. Rumors started to spread. Some people were saying that they'd seen Sadat have an affair with his secretary. Other people were saying that they'd seen Sadat get back with his ex. And with every single rumor, their relationship was tested. But Jean-Marie said no. Until she sees it with her own two eyes and there is proof, she's not gonna believe the naysayers. She knows she's gotten a catch. So they went on with their wedding preparations. Everything was going brilliantly. A few weeks to the wedding, Sadat said, baby girl Jean-Marie, let's have a quick discussion. I love you and care for you, but we both come from, big backgrounds. We have a lot working for us. So let's sign a prenup. Let us ensure that we want this marriage to work, but if something doesn't work out, at least all of our individual assets are protected. Jean-Marie said, yeah, that works for me. I also came with a lot of stuff. I agree, this makes sense. The day before their wedding, they went to court and arranged to have a prenup signed. Read over the documents, didn't have a lot of back and forth to do. The moment came for signatures. And Jean-Marie said, I have my favorite pen, my lucky pen. This is what I'm going to use to sign our official documents. The two of them laughed, had a great time, signed their documents, and the following day got married. And at that point, the naysayers couldn't really say anything. Their first year of marriage was looking good, looking calm. Until one random day, as Jean-Marie is scrolling through social media, she happens upon an Instagram page that she notices has been watching her Instagram stories repeatedly. But this person does not follow her, does not like her posts, does not like her comments. She doesn't follow this person, so why are they on her stories? She does a little deep dive, a little snooping, finds the person's page, scrolls through the feed, nothing interesting, nothing crazy, goes into the tagged photos and finds one particular picture. This lady is holding a bouquet. Again, nothing too crazy, but the room in which she stands looks eerily familiar. It looks like Sadat's apartment, bachelor pad that he uses when work is occasionally stressful and long hours. She then realizes that the only mutual person between her and this lady is her husband Sadat. Now that's odd. That's a little strange. So in the dead of night, she goes through Sadat's phone. She has questions. She starts with Instagram DMs, quickly scrolling and realizing that, my goodness, Sadat and this mysterious lady have been having a full-blown relationship even before Sadat and Jean-Marie's wedding. How could that be? But that's not all. She takes her phone and starts taking pictures of everything, all the texts, all the messages, all the pictures and videos, everything. Jean-Marie then goes into his WhatsApp and in the search bar types the word love. And what do you know? An additional 4 more girls pop up in different conversations, all interacting with them, telling them how much he loves them and how much he cares for them, and oh, this relationship is going so well. In that moment, Jean-Marie realizes that Sadat is not cheating with 1, 2, or 3, over 5 women. But you know what? She's not going to scream, she's not going to cry, she's not going to get angry. She takes pictures of all the evidence, screenshots all the information she needs, puts both phones away, and gently wakes up Sadat. She says, honey, time for some action. They get intimate and fall asleep. The following morning, she wakes up, cooks him breakfast, and sends him on his merry way, happy and fulfilled. Sadat has no idea what is happening. Late afternoon, Jean-Marie sends a message. I want a divorce, containing all the information of his cheating and dubious crimes. Upon receiving this, Sadat's heart drops. He didn't expect to be caught. He didn't expect to be found out. This is absolute chaos. He tries to call Jean-Marie, but she's not picking his calls. He sends messages, tries to apologize. Nothing is happening. Sadat rushes home to find out that, oh my goodness, Jean-Marie has packed out of the house, taking everything with her. He cries and cries and cries, but eventually the two are scheduled for a divorce. Jean-Marie says she will not be contacted directly. He must go through her lawyer. The lawyer reaches out to him and says, look, unfortunately with this divorce, you guys will have to split everything 50-50. She will be taking half of your money. Plus, you were cheating, so she might get even more than that. Sadat says, no, that can't be possible. We signed a prenup. We're supposed to go with what we came in. This doesn't make any sense. So the lawyer tries to contact Jean-Marie. And Jean-Marie says, look, I'm not dealing with you guys. I have not signed any prenup. There's nothing that can prove that I did. But Sadat is confused because he's like, I'm pretty sure I sat with you. We signed a prenup. Where is it? What happened to it? Jean-Marie says, right, you remember the pen I was holding? The one I made sure to use? Yeah, that one is disappearing ink. My name, my signature, my information is not on any of those documents, and it's not been on those documents for a long time. I realized after hearing all these accusations and allegations against you that, you know what, I needed to protect myself just in case. Had you been faithful to me, you would never have noticed, but now you will lose everything. Sadat was completely devastated. And true, Jean-Marie ended up with more than half. Not only was there no proof of a prenup, but there also was concrete evidence of cheating. With that, Sadat became almost baroque. Jean-Marie ended up with 3/4 of all his money. She decided that her course of action would be to buy majority shares in his company, become largest stakeholder, and fire Sadat. In a cruel twist of fate, not only was Sadat fired, but Arnold, the guy who had wanted his job from the very beginning, ended up with his job and his girl. Now that's an entangled web. That's all I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at EntangledWebStories, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!